for the WWE Championship. And that is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, fresh off a new baby girl and fresh off a Street Fighter filming, defending his championship against the Scottish Warrior, Drew McIntyre. Talk about a long time coming. You talk about one that has been building for a long time, not just when this picture was taken, not just right after this, when Drew claymored Cody through this table. But this one has been brewing for a long, long time. Go back a little bit further. Drew McIntyre is one of the only people on the WWE roster to have pinned Cody Rhodes since he returned after WrestleMania in 2022. So, little over 3 years. I know Brock Lesnar's pinned him. Roman Reigns has pinned him. Fairly certain Solo Sikoa pinned him in a tag team match. And then Drew McIntyre pinned him on a random episode of Monday Night Raw. So, you could say this match has been building since then. You could also point back to the fact that these two guys are the trailblazers, the trendsetters, the ones that everyone looks to when they leave WWE, or now when they leave AEW, to make a name for themselves on the indies, with the exception of Matt Cardona. I'm talking about guys who unceremoniously leaving a major company and reinventing themselves, making themselves more famous than they ever were before, reinventing the wheel, and then finding themselves back in that spotlight, bigger, badder, and better than they ever were before, proving themselves, taking it, betting on themselves, and it working out, cashing in all those chips and hitting that royal flush. And both of these guys have done it. Drew McIntyre was fired from WWE. He bounced around. He did the stuff in Europe. He went all over the place, went to TNA. He came back to NXT. And then the main roster after WrestleMania 34. And then it's been wild ever since. And he's been one of the most consistent, most incredible, most special performers on the roster since he returned in 2018. Cody Rhodes, we all know the story. He put in his notice in 2016. He left. He started AEW. And depends on what you want to believe, they ran him out of town. And he came back home to tremendous fanfare with his American Nightmare gimmick. And he has been here ever since. City Kitty live in the chat with us. Cody versus Drew is going to be phenomenal. Yes, it is. You're 100% right. Thank you for being with us. Yes, it will be. If anybody else is watching live and want to share their comments, their questions, not just on Cody and Drew, but the whole WrestlePalooza card, be sure to drop those in the chat. I would appreciate it. I'll tell you what. I know where City Kitty is leaning on this because she's been in the chat with us before. I know who she's a fan of. But I'm going to say this as I predict this match. You want something to send shockwaves in the WWE landscape? You want something to blow away that ESPN audience? You want something to really flip everything on its head? A shocker? Have Drew McIntyre beat Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. Have that happen. I'm wearing a Cody Rhodes t-shirt tonight. But I'm going to sit right here and tell you, I am predicting that Drew McIntyre wins the WWE Championship this Saturday at WrestlePalooza over Cody Rhodes. And not just because it'd be a shocker, but because Drew McIntyre deserves it. And if you want an angry heel with a championship, I know we've had John Cena as a heel champion for most of the year. And it's time to have Cody carry the title for a little longer. But, man, it would be fantastic if Drew was the champion. Because you mentioned John Cena. What if Drew McIntyre is John Cena's last opponent? What if Drew McIntyre wins the championship at WrestlePalooza and he starts running SmackDown into the ground and he starts being the heel that John Cena was, but in his own Drew McIntyre dastardly way? And then John Cena shows up and he says, no. I'm not letting you do this. I'm not letting you ruin what I built. And then John Cena can say, no. I told everyone I was going to leave as the champion. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take that title from you, Drew McIntyre. And then, if you really want to get crazy, as we're fantasy booking this John Cena versus Drew McIntyre stuff, the little interaction that happened backstage at the Raw debut on Netflix between Drew McIntyre and The Rock, you could bring that on screen. You bring The Rock out for John Cena's last match as he loses to Drew McIntyre, and you have The Rock be the one to cost John Cena, saying, oh, you said you were selling your soul to me and blah, 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 and you let us down and blah, 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 and you plant more seeds of The Rock. I know if Andy is watching this or listening, he is throwing something against the wall right now, and he's not happy about me bringing up The Rock, especially in a logical situation that it could actually happen. All that to say, I think Drew McIntyre walks out of WrestlePalooza as the WWE champion. Now, I said a few minutes ago that I was going to make a case for other matches to main event this show. I just talked about the mixed tag team match. AJ Lee's return to the ring, first time in over 10 years. You got the World Heavyweight Champion on the other side. One of the biggest superstars in the world of wrestling in Becky Lynch. Not to mention Seth Rollins, CM Punk. That could easily headline WrestlePalooza on ESPN. But if you're going to switch the championship and Drew McIntyre is going to beat Cody Rhodes, man, that just feels like a main event way to go off the show right there. If you're going to do that, that'll send shockwaves out there. If that's going to happen, that's what I would main event the show with. I would have Cena, Lesnar open the show. I'd have Cody, Drew close the show. Now, you could make the argument that Cody, Drew closes the show with Cody winning and retaining the championship. That's plausible. We haven't even talked about the possibility of Randy Orton getting involved in this match. He may not. I don't know. We'll see. But all that to say, my prediction is Drew McIntyre walks out of Indianapolis and WrestlePalooza as the new WWE Champion.